I love singing, I do, and but I think I'm just more suited for writing. And I don't like being on stage by myself, singing by myself. My favorite thing was being on stage with a group.
You said recently that the music industry is still very homophobic.
Definitely. Bottom line is what the record labels look at. They just want to make money. And if this artist isn't going to pull in this many fans because they're gay, they're not going to support him as much. And I see that with so many people. I mean, Adam Lambert's a great example of that. I've met Donald a few times, and he's been very supportive of our career.
Is he disappointing to you?
Very disappointing. How much he has riled up this fan base. It's scary. You know, it's really validated a lot of people's dark feelings inside of them, those bigoted feelings, and now they feel safe to come out and be that way.
Plus, last time you cried.
I'm sure Sally Field made me cry in a movie.
All next on Larry King Now. Welcome to Larry King Now, a return visit with our special guest, Lance Bass, a man of many talents, singer, actor, host, producer, philanthropist, and cosmonaut. In 2006, Lance was the first pop star to come out, and now he's hosting television's first all-gay dating show called Finding Prince Charming. It airs Thursdays at 9 p.m., 8 Central on Logo. How did this come about, this show?
You know, a friend of mine, Brian Graydon, who created and produced the show, he produced my wedding special for E! 2 years ago. He came up with this idea to do the first gay reality dating show, and they thought I would be the perfect host. And it took me about a millisecond to say, yes, I want to do this.
Is this like The Bachelor with a guy,
it
a
is.
group of guys who want to date that guy?
Exactly. You know, 13 guys go into a house, and the last one standing is the one that wins his heart.
Is the purpose marriage?
Not on this show. We're a little bit more realistic in falling in love in a short amount of time, because we only shoot for about a month. So at the end, the winner is just basically an exclusive relationship with the Prince Charming.
Do you worry that since everybody's gay, right, the guy, that people who are vying for that guy might like each other?
Hey, that's very valid. And it's nothing we worry about, because there's nothing in the rules that say that two of the suitors can't fall in love with each other. That's one of the layers of this show. You know, and maybe that happens this season, maybe not, but eventually, you know, it probably will, and good for them.
The Bachelor gets criticized for kind of fabricating romance.
Yeah,
what happens on Prince Charming?
Well, with this, you know, I went into this really intrigued with how you shoot a show like this, because, you know, I like producing, I love writing television, and one of my favorite shows is Unreal on Lifetime, which is the, you know, scripted version of The Bachelor. So I wanted to see how produced this gets, how you shoot a show, and I have to say I was so impressed with how real it is. It's really hard to write a story as something live is happening. You know, before it was scripted, you write it and you do it, but this, you have to write the story as you go, and it takes a lot of talent. These producers are very talented.
Where do you shoot it?
This first season we shot out in Tarzana, in a mansion in Tarzana.
And they stayed there, everyone?
They didn't even know where they were at. They thought they were in Malibu. They're like, I think I smell the ocean. We weren't near the ocean at all. And anytime they had to leave the house, they were blindfolded, just to make sure that they, you know, were really just into this experiment.
Do they eliminate people?
Every week, yeah, every week someone goes. In shooting this, they kept me separate from the contestants a lot, so I don't know what happens in the house half the time. So when I'm watching the shows on Thursday nights, I'm watching it for the first time as a fan. So, I mean, it's very interesting to me, because I don't know what's going on.
Is there a lot of romance like on The Bachelor? Is there kissing? And
There is, yeah. No, it's real. And this is what I love about this show. Most people have never seen gay guys in a relationship or dating or holding hands, and there's still this huge stigma of what it's like to date in the gay world. I know what it's like, because, you know, it took me so long to come out. So a lot of us, we didn't have that fun, you know, courtship when we're teenagers and asking people to, you know, dances. We didn't have that. You know, we started late, and it takes a little time for us to catch up.
Have you marketed the viewership? Is it mostly gay?
You know, it's kind of split down the middle of, you know, gay guys who are, you know, loving the show or either just hate watching the show. And then you have a lot of straight women that love shows like this. You know, The Bachelor, you know, Big Brother, those type of shows. The women, you know, it's built for women. And I've seen a lot of straight women out there having viewing parties for this type of show.
You think a lesbian show is coming?
I hope so. I mean, I think it's coming. I mean, I would hope to see that this could have a spinoff with, you know, the lesbian community.
And how many shows will be?
There's going to be 9. We shoot the reunion in a couple weeks, which, of course, is usually everyone's favorite episode, because the contestants get to see what everyone's been saying behind their backs, and now they get to finally confront everyone in the reunion. So I'm looking forward to that.
Do you enjoy hosting it?
I do.
No?
Yeah, I love it.
Now, you got married yourself, right?
Did 2 years ago.
What's it like?
It's great. I mean, nothing really has changed too much in our relationship because we lived together for so long. We've been together for over 6 years. So, nothing too crazy has changed between us, but the way everyone treats you is a little different.
How?
It's a little more respect. It's instead of saying, "Oh, this is my boyfriend," when you say husband, everyone says, "Oh, then it's real now."
You want to adopt a child?
We're definitely thinking about adopting, and we're also thinking about having our own with a surrogacy and starting that process maybe next year.
What does your husband do?
He's an artist, and an incredible pop artist. So my house is just full of amazing art at all times.
When people run into you, they still remember NSYNC?
Oh yeah, I mean, there isn't a day that goes by that people don't stop me, for being Lance from NSYNC, which I love.
Do the guys all keep in touch with each other?
We do.
I remember when you were on our show on CNN.
I know, I remember that, and that was one of our first interviews.
Yeah, I know, that was fun.
I know. Now, we talk to the guys, all the time. We have this group text that we use pretty much daily, and we've had that for years. So, every day I think of those guys, and every day I talk to them.
And one's become a superstar.
One has, yeah.
Is he still the same?
Yeah, I mean, nothing's really changed in any of the guys. With Justin, blowing up solo like that, that was just insane to watch because, NSYNC was huge. We had no idea that Justin would be able to have, this amazing solo career.
As an actor.
Yeah, acting, everything. He's a talented man.
Your former manager, Lou Pearlman, died in prison.
Yeah.
And you said he might not have been a stand-up businessman, but I wouldn't be doing what I love today without his influence. What happened to Lou? What went wrong?
Well, I think greed, like so many people you see. I even knew it at an early age. I was 16 when I joined NSYNC, and I knew there was something, strange with
What was
Lou.
he doing wrong?
There was something fake about it. And I couldn't really put my finger on it because I was so young, but everything he said just seemed too good to be true.
Did he rob from NSYNC?
Oh, yeah. He took a lot of our money, legally, so I guess you can't say robbed.
So why is he in prison?
He was in prison for a Ponzi scheme he did in Orlando. He did some really bad contracts with us and didn't want to renegotiate, but the reason he went to jail was a Ponzi scheme.
What did he die of?
I think a heart attack, maybe?
How old was he?
I don't know, at the 60-something. He was pretty young. Overweight, so I think he had health problems. And being in prison, it cannot be good on your heart.
Our guest is a delightful Lance Bass. Up next, we're talking about what's changed in the fight for LGBT rights since his last time here in 2014. Stay with us. Our guest is Lance Bass. He hosts Finding Prince Charming on Logo. It airs Thursdays at 9/8 Central. Last time you were here, you finished making Mississippi I Am.
Right.
You're from Mississippi. It was about the fight for gay rights in this state. It's 2 years later. How's it done?
You know what? We're still growing as a state. When I did that documentary, I wanted to see what it was like for teenagers to be openly gay and how they're treated. And, we saw some sad stories, but all of those kids are still standing strong in Mississippi and changing minds. Of course, we had that awful HB, House Bill 1523 that, set our state back even more and enacted some Jim Crow type laws. That did get overturned, thank goodness. And it's confusing down there in the South because everyone in the South listens to certain leaders, like their church leaders and their family, and they don't really care to educate themselves any further than that. So, once your preacher tells you a certain thing, you're just going to believe them and go with that.
So religion is a lot at fault.
Religion is the biggest hang-up for anyone trying to expand their mind about LGBT people. And which is sad, and I wish these church leaders would really be more Christian-like and be accepting. I grew up Christian, Southern Baptist, and what I believed in growing up and what I learned was to treat everyone equally and love them. And the way that the church has treated the LGBT community is just it's horrible, and their leaders need to change.
Nationally, the movement has come along pretty quick.
Yeah, definitely. The temperature for LGBT is just so much better. Just 5 years ago, it was so much harder. But now it's great to be gay, and people celebrate it. And I love that people are happy coming out now.
In 2014, you judged the Miss USA pageant, right?
I did.
Did you do you know Donald pretty well?
I've met Donald a few times. He gave us a couple of jobs. Miss Teen USA was one of NSYNC's first performances back in Louisiana years ago. And then I got to judge again a couple years ago for him. And he's been very supportive of our career.
He said he's also very supportive of gays. Do you believe that or not?
You know what? Knowing Donald Trump, I don't think he hates gays. I think that he knows how to pander to his audience to make sure that they think that he doesn't like gays. So no, I don't think he's against gays, but I think that the platform that he's running on right now, he's going to do everything he can for those constituents.
Is he disappointing to you?
Very disappointing. He's disappointing because I know what it is. It's, you know, it's one big marketing PR scheme, and being in the entertainment industry, I can just see that, and we all see that have been kind of on this side of it. But what I'm most disappointed in is how much he has riled up this fan base. It's scary, you know. It's really validated a lot of people's dark feelings inside of them, those bigoted feelings, and now they feel safe to come out and be that way, and that's just, it's scary and sad, and I feel like I'm living in the 1960s.
It's rumored that he's leading to a Trump network.
Oh, really?
Yes,
oh, of
on
course.
television network.
Yeah, well, that would make sense. Yeah.
Now, you said you're not a Democrat, and you're not a Republican, but you're supporting Hillary.
I am. Yeah, I don't like politics. I mean, I definitely study it and I know everything about it, but I just, you know, with Democrats, Republicans, it's like picking your favorite sports team. You're gonna like who you like, and that's it. And
well, isn't the Democratic platform more in concept?
well, of course, yeah. I mean, I support the Democratic platform for sure over the Republican.
Are there things you question about Hillary too? They both have negatives.
I mean, they do have negatives, but I mean, I've done my research and I have common sense, and I've seen exactly what she has done her whole entire career compared to what he's done his whole career, and it's a no-brainer for me. I mean, she's done an amazing job. I don't care what rhetoric you're listening to, but she's done an incredible job at every position she's been in. We all make mistakes. We can't be perfect, but she is by far the most qualified person we've ever had run for president, right? It's crazy.
You think it's going to be close?
I don't think it's going to be close. I think it's going to be a landslide, Hillary Clinton, especially just recently. I mean, it just keeps tanking and tanking, and who knows? I mean, I might be eating my words, but I think it's going to be a landslide.
Up next, we'll talk future of music and past crushes with Renaissance man Lance Bass. We're back with Lance Bass. He hosts Finding Prince Charming. It airs Thursdays 9, 8 Central on Logo. You last released a single in 2014. It did not become a full album.
Right. Mm-hmm.
Are you still singing?
Not really. I mean, that was just something fun that kind of landed in my lap that I did with Snoop Dogg, of all people, your friend Snoop.
Good guy.
And, you know, it was fun, you know, and it did great overseas. It didn't even get released here in America. But I am going to get into music a little more. I created a music competition show with Robin Anton, who created the Pussycat Dolls, and Kris Jenner. And so the three of us are going to be finding the next great American boy and girl bands. So I'm very excited to get back in the studio with them.
You said recently that the music industry is still very homophobic.
Mm-hmm. Definitely. I mean, it's if you're in this business, especially music, you see how backwards.
But yet we have some amazing gay artists.
That's true. Finally, we do, and getting some support. And then there's amazing gay artists that just don't get the support.
Because they're gay?
Because they're gay. It's because, you know, bottom line is what the record labels look at. They just want to make money. And if this artist isn't going to pull in this many fans because they're gay, they're not going to support him as much. And I see that with so many people. I mean, Adam Lambert's a great example of that. He is so freaking talented and it could be pushed so much harder, but I think just because he's gay, the record label doesn't put him out there as much.
We're going to play a little game of If You Only Knew. I'll throw some questions at you.
Okay. All right.
Who was your childhood celebrity crush?
Stacey Keenan from My Two Dads.
Secret talent?
Secret talent? I can play a harmonica.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
Song you sing the most in the shower?
Right now it's Dolly Parton, 9 to 5, because I just saw her at the bowl the other day. It will not come out of my head.
She was great.
She was incredible. So good.
Who would you trade places with for a day?
Ah, my goodness. You, Larry. Yeah.
I'm humbled. Last time you cried?
I'm sure Sally Field made me cry in a movie. She's the only one that can make me cry in a movie.
Music fans would be surprised to know who you listen to.
I don't know if you'd be surprised, but Betty Who's kind of my girl.
Betty Who?
Yeah, Australian singer. She's incredible. But that's,
we have an Australian visitor.
Yeah?
Betty Who?
Betty Who.
Guilty pleasure?
Every reality show on television. I mean, I watch it all. I do.
Somebody you'd love to work with?
I would love to work with Garth Brooks.
Nice guy.
Yeah, super guy.
What do people get wrong about fame?
Oh my gosh, what do they get wrong about fame? Oh my gosh, it's sometimes not that pleasant.
The grass is always green.
The grass is definitely always green on the other side, yeah.
Biggest risk you've taken?
Becoming a cosmonaut?
Something you long believed to be true but realized isn't.
Once I found out my dad actually drinks beer, you know, in the South, they hide it from the kids. Oh, we don't drink. So the whole time I thought my parents had never tried alcohol in their life until I found a six-pack of beer in the garage. I'm like, he does drink. Yeah.
Was coming out hard?
It was very hard. Yeah.
Because of your upbringing?
It was, you know, growing up in the South, very religious, never want to disappoint your family. I was in a boy band where 99% of your fan base was women, so I thought all my best friends' careers would be destroyed if anyone ever found out. I mean, it was a hard time.
Were your parents angry, hurt?
No, not at all. I knew that they would not hate me for coming out. I knew I would never be one of those kids that were kicked out of their homes, but I didn't expect the support, the major support they gave me in return. I mean, I'm very lucky.
Lance will answer your social media questions in our final segment, and we'll talk about the cosmonaut thing. We'll be right back. Welcome back. The guest is Lance Bass. The show is Finding Prince Charming. It airs on Logo Thursdays at 9/8 Central. You trained in Russia to go into space. Why did you go? Tell me about that.
I mean, ever since I was a kid, you know, I wanted to be an astronaut. It was that or be a magician. So I went to space camp. I already started planning on what I wanted to be in life, a space engineer, so that would lead me to be an astronaut. But then things changed for me, and I ended up going into music. And then one day I get a call that there was a company wanting to put me into space to be the youngest person to go to space, to really encourage a younger generation to go into math and science. And
in America, though.
In America, right. So. But it would be going with Russia because, you know, at that time, no one was going to be going on a shuttle. So we went with Russia, and it was incredible. It was something that, I mean, I can't even really describe. It was months of training.
You went through all the training?
Oh, yeah.
So what happened?
Crazy stuff. Well, a week before launch, my mission got scrapped, basically over insurance, because we were doing it started out as a CBS show that we were doing, that I was going to host this game show. But then halfway through, that got messed up, and it was going to be a documentary for MTV, and no insurance company would cover the production. So it got canceled the week before.
You were going to go up with Russian cosmonauts?
I was going up with some cosmonauts. One was Belgian, one was Russian. Had all my experiments I was doing.
Did you learn Russian?
Yeah, I mean, I learned basic Russian. I mean, all my courses were in Russian. All my professors only spoke Russian.
Is it still on your bucket list?
It is. It is. And
you
now
want to go up?
I do. And now with this privatized, you know, space exploration, it's.
Yeah. What do you make of Mr. Musk's plan?
I think Elon Musk is a genius. I love what he's doing. I love
to colonize Mars.
Colonizing Mars. Yeah.
Would you go?
I would not go. If you asked me 10 years ago, I probably would have said yes. But now that I'm married and want to have kids, like, I mean, that's a one-way trip, you know. So
yeah, it is.
I don't think I would want to do that, although it would be so incredible. But I love what he's doing. I love the technology he's creating and giving away. You know, I think he is an amazing leader, and we need more people like him.
Do you think we'll have tourist trips to the moon?
Oh, definitely. Yeah. I mean, and I think so. I think they'll be building a base on the moon at some point, and I definitely see us traveling there as vacations. I hope so.
So we'll open a Stuckey's. And
Yeah, Stuckey's, a little IHOP.
Okay, we have some social media questions for you. Guy Qualifier Wall tweets, as a Garth Brooks fan and country fan, would you ever do a country song or album?
I would love to do a country song or album. That's one of those things where being gay hurts in the music industry.
Especially country?
Country, you know, they're...
Are they the last bastion?
They are. And, you know, it's still homophobic. Radio is very homophobic in the country market.
Really?
Yeah, so if they know you're gay, they're not going to give you a spin.
Do we have any gay radio?
No, I mean, Shelley Wright is doing it. I don't know if they're still playing her. But, you know, it's a tough market to break. And, you know, I grew up wanting to be a country singer. So the fact that I know I'll never be able to really do it because I'm gay is really sad.
King Lamb 94, is it possible to ever reunite in sync once more?
Well, of course. Yeah, I mean, you never know what we're going to do. I didn't know we'd be performing 3 years ago at the VMAs together. So, you know, and we're getting our star on the Hollywood Walk of Fame next year. So we'll be together for that. So, I mean, there's little reunions all over the place.
At Charlene 94X, how often do you and NSYNC guys hang out together?
It's hard to get us all five in a room. Last time we were all five together was JC's 40th birthday, which was August 8th. So we were all together then.
Now, tell me about My Kitchen Rules. What is that?
Yeah, that's my new show coming out on Fox. It comes out this January or February.
You are an entrepreneur.
I have a lot of interests.
What is My Kitchen Rules?
Yeah, it's Kat Core and Curtis Stone. They're the hosts and judges of this Australian format. It's going to be really great. Andrew Dice Clay, Naomi Judd, Brandy and Ray J, myself.
Doing what?
All cooking. It's a cooking competition where we go into teams. So it's me and my mother from Mississippi as a team, and we do these elevated dinner parties. And every week, one couple is voted off. So it turned out great. It's going to be a fun show.
It's going to be on Fox.
It'll be on Fox.
When does this show start?
I think January, February. Yeah.
Are you a good cook?
I am a good cook. My mother's way better. Thank goodness she's my partner in this.
Southern cooking?
Yeah, a lot of soul food.
What's the next chapter for you?
Good question. You know, I love what I'm doing now. I love hosting, Finding Prince Charming. Culinary is something that I would love to get into more. So maybe after this Fox show, I can have my own cooking show with my mother. Would be incredible. It's something that just makes me very happy and I'm passionate about. And other than that, I love producing and writing television. So for the rest of my life, if I can just be behind that camera creating good, television, I'll be happy.
Don't you want to sing again?
I mean, I love singing. I do. But I think I'm just more suited for writing. I think I'm more talented in that era. And I don't like being on stage by myself, singing by myself. My favorite thing was being on stage with a group. I felt more at home there. Being a solo singer, to me, is just a little boring. I don't know what it is about that.
Really?
It's just a little boring to me.
Where do you see yourself 10 years from today?
10 years from today, still happily married with an amazing family. Can't wait to have kids. And still, hopefully, being able to work in this entertainment industry that I love.
Always great seeing you,
Good to see you, buddy.
I want to thank my guest, Lance Bass. Finding Prince Charming airs Thursdays at 9, 8 Central on Logo. And as always, you can find me on Twitter at King's Things. I'll see you next time. On Larry King Now, Lance Bass.
I love singing, I do, but I think I'm just more suited for writing. And I don't like being on stage by myself, singing by myself. My favorite thing was being on stage with a group.
You said recently that the music industry is still very homophobic.
Definitely. Bottom line is what the record labels look at. They just want to make money. And if this artist isn't going to pull in this many fans because they're gay, they're not going to support him as much. And I see that with so many people. I mean, Adam Lambert's a great example of that. I've met Donald a few times, and he's been very supportive of our career.
Is he disappointing to you?
Very disappointing. How much he has riled up this fan base. It's scary. It's really validated a lot of people's dark feelings inside of them, those bigoted feelings, and now they feel safe to come out and be that way.
Plus, last time you cried.
I'm sure Sally Field made me cry in a movie.
All next on Larry King Now. Welcome to Larry King Now, a return visit with our special guest, Lance Bass, a man of many talents, singer, actor, host, producer, philanthropist, and cosmonaut. In 2006, Lance was the first pop star to come out, and now he's hosting television's first all-gay dating show called Finding Prince Charming. It airs Thursdays at 9 p.m., 8 Central on Logo. How did this come about, this show?
A friend of mine, Brian Graydon, who created and produced the show, he produced my wedding special for E! 2 years ago. I came up with this idea to do the first gay reality dating show, and they thought I would be the perfect host. And it took me about a millisecond to say, yes, I want to do this.
Is this like The Bachelor with a guy,
it is.
Group of guys who want to date that guy?
Exactly. 13 guys go into a house, and the last one standing is the one that wins his heart.
Is the purpose marriage?
Not on this show. We're a little bit more realistic in falling in love in a short amount of time, because we only shoot for about a month. So at the end, the winner is just basically an exclusive relationship with the Prince Charming.
Do you worry that since everybody's gay, right, the guy, that people who are vying for that guy might like each other?
Hey, that's very valid. And it's nothing we worry about, because there's nothing in the rules that say that two of the suitors can't fall in love with each other. That's one of the layers of the show. And maybe that happens this season, maybe not. But eventually, it probably will, and good for them.
The Bachelor gets criticized for kind of fabricating romance.
Yeah.
What happens on Prince Charming?
Well, with this, I went into this really intrigued with how you shoot a show like this because I like producing, I love writing television, and one of my favorite shows is Unreal on Lifetime, which is the scripted version of The Bachelor. So I wanted to see how produced this gets, how you shoot a show, and I have to say I was so impressed with how real